All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. Today is October 9th, and you are at the Planning Commission's regular meeting. So we want to thank you guys for your time. You could have been anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here, and we appreciate that. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and make sure that we do a roll call. So I'll start. When you hear your name, say present. Commissioner Cheryl Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Jeanette Hardy is not here this evening. Commissioner Robin Meyer.
Present.
Commissioner Andres Miller is not here this evening. And I am Commissioner Dante Philpott, and I am actually here. Commissioner Carl Valenzano.
Present.
And Commissioner Venice Walker.
Present.
All right, perfect. So we do have quorum. So we will move to item number 3 on our agenda, which is the approval of last meeting's minutes. I know that there were some edits or adjustments to be made. Mr. Wheeler, were you able to see those edits that were submitted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'll leave it open for any of the other planning commissioners if there were any additional edits that need to be made to the minutes from the previous meeting. I'll leave the floor open. All right. Going once, going twice. Okay. So we'll take that silence as complicit, or everybody's in agreement. So can we entertain a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes with the edits that were submitted via email?
I so move.
All right, can I get a second?
I second.
All right, so motion to approve was submitted by Commissioner Meyer, second by Commissioner Valenzano. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. No opposition, the ayes have it, so we will go ahead and approve the prior meeting's minutes. And with that, we'll move to item number 4, which is unfinished business. Mr. Wheeler, did we have any unfinished business? Anything that needed to be brought up for PC's attention?
No, sir.
Okay. So with no unfinished business, we will move to item number 5 on the agenda, and that is new business. Mr. Wheeler, I think you wanted to start out with new business. I'll let you start it out, and then we'll move forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So on the agenda, we do have some 2 other cases that are looking for a withdrawal and as well as a denial by staff. So we'll take the first item. I apologize. I left my agenda.
That's okay. So
I'll read into the record. So,
okay.
So the first is for the applicant of LUP, Land Use Permit 2025-001. Applicant seeks to operate a dog training business at 5480 and 5480 Burdette Road. Applicant is seeking to withdraw their application without prejudice.
Okay. So can we entertain a motion?
Sorry, the applicant is Mr. Irons. There you go.
Mr. Irons, okay. So can we entertain a motion to approve the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice?
I'd make a motion to approve the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice.
All right. Motion comes from Commissioner Valenzano. A second?
I second the motion.
All right. Second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Just one correction.
Okay.
It was me that seconded Commissioner Walker.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So
That's okay.
I'm sorry about that. That was
The second was by Commissioner Walker.
Commissioner Walker. I'm sorry about that. So now we'll take the vote. So all opposed say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it. So we will approve the withdrawal without prejudice for application LUP 2025-001.
Yes, sir. And again, there's a correction on the agenda. So again, staff is asking for the LUP 2025-002 to be denied for lack of communications for the applicant. And again, this is 245 Honeycutt Road. Applicant is seeking to operate a dog sitting business at the subject property. Applicant has failed to communicate with staff, and so therefore staff is asking for a denial of this application for Mr. Ortega.
Okay. All right, so we'll do the same thing. We'll entertain a motion to deny application LUP 2025-002 on the grounds of no communication with the applicant.
I make a motion to deny the applicants.
Okay, who was that? I can't see it. I don't want.
That was me this time.
Okay, all right. So, I'm sorry. Motion to deny from Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Davis, can I get a second?
I second.
All right, second from Commissioner Walker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. So that one will be recommended for denial on the basis of non-communication. And then we'll move to item 5C.
Yes, sir. The only application on this evening for consideration is RZ 2025. Applicant is Mr. Alexander Prop. Applicant is seeking to rezone the subject property at 6851 Queens Mill Road, tax parcel 18040500240. Applicant seek to rezone the 4-acre property from R20 to R15 for development of 7 detached single-family lots. This is an aerial photo of the subject property. Again, the applicant is seeking to rezone the subject property. I apologize. Usually there's a star indicating the subject property. It is the big parcel. Again, location is 6851 Queens Mill Road. Again, I apologize for the lack of a legend. Again, this is an aerial photo of the subject property as well too. What's not showing is the future land use map. The future land use map for this subject property is low density residential. This is a revised site plan of the subject property. As you can see, the applicant is seeking to develop 7 single-family detached lots. This is a revised site plan the applicant submitted early to this week. The applicant has switched the location of the detention pond. The detention pond was located further to the west on that original lot. I believe that's lot 7, located along Queens Mill Road. However, the applicant has changed that and moved the detention pond further east into the development. The applicant is seeking to develop lot sizes between 15,000 and 19,000 square feet. The applicant has indicated as well that the proposed single-family homes will range between 3,000 square feet, 3,000 heated square feet, and between 5,000 heated square feet. Applicant is as well as seeking to do 2-story homes. These are the proposed elevations which the applicant is seeking to develop the homes. And I'd like to apologize. I didn't mention the applicant is also seeking a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 35 feet to 25 feet as well. The required setback for R15 lot is 35 feet. So the applicant has indicated that there are topography reasons that would make it very hard for the applicant to develop the lots as is. So he is seeking a 25-foot front yard setback. With all our applications, staff has zoning criteria which we review each application by. These are the 5 criteria which you'll be using as well to make your determination if it's approved. I apologize as well to the public as I forgot to include the variance criteria, so you are aware of exactly which criteria that the planning commission will be using to review its merits on as well too. Staff has provided analysis as well as asking Cobb County review departments to provide analysis as well. Staff is recommending approval of the rezoning. However, staff is asking recommending denial of the variance. Staff is recommending these conditions are associated with the rezoning application, as you can see. And the applicant is here to answer any questions as well. Do you have any questions of staff?
So at this time, the floor is open for any PCs to ask questions of staff.
Mr. Wheeler, I do have one quick question just on the staff recommendations. The minimum square footage that staff recommendations was, I believe, 2,000 square feet?
Yes, sir.
That's just due to the zoning category?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Question. Sorry, I had some stuff that I wanted to take a look at. So, one of the things that I was looking at was the front yard landscape. Is the recommendation to leave it open to the types of trees?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So again, if the planning commission has a recommended list of trees, then we or staff is open to those accommodations to include those trees in the recommendation.
Okay.
I believe the ordinance, I believe the tree ordinance does have particulars on what they can use and can't use.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. But again, if there's a certain type of tree that you want to include as well, staff is still open to that as well too.
Is it possible to grab a list, or for us to grab a list of the approved trees?
We can try to look it up
Okay.
really quickly and try to submit it to you.
Gotcha. Okay. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening. Well, I think Chris basically said it, most of the things for me. I just want to tell a quick history of how this evolved. I think the decisive point was my meeting with Michael Hughes. He was just appointed the director of development, and I was asking for his advice about the development of this parcel, and he said, just make it a traditional single-family home development. That's what we want in this corridor on Queen Mill Road. And so then I talked to my engineers, and we came up with this plan. So we made a small adjustment just about a week ago. The stormwater, we moved it to former lot 6. So the enumeration changed, but now the detention pond is in the lowest portion of the parcel. So which makes sense. And the reason we moved, I think, originally was because of the DOT space requirements for the access. For the access, they want us to do deceleration lane, things like that. And I'm totally, agree with all this. And so we do not have enough space over there by Queen Mill for the stormwater. So we moved it to the back, to the lower point, and this should work much better.
I just realized we did not make a motion to open the public hearing, so I apologize if we can do that, and then we can go from there standpoint. Because again, forgot to ask for that. Sorry.
Okay. Without put forth a motion to open the public hearing portion of the hearing this evening.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Meyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Okay, so just one.
And step forward to the mic, please.
Okay,
There we go.
one request I have for the commission is to consider our variance request. The reason for that is the topography. We have such a drop from north to south. I believe it's about 70 feet. Just, that's the reason why most of the construction has to be on the flat area close to the road. To compensate for the 25-foot front setback, we will have all the garages side entry. So it's not going to be a 25-foot, front driveway. So, I think you have some sketches of the elevations that we are proposing. And so all of them will be side entry. So I really hope that you can accommodate that, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to do this. And Joseph will talk more about that in detail.
Yeah. My name is Joseph Price. I'm a land planner and landscape architect with Planners Engineers Collaborative. I've been working with Mr. Alexander on this property. I think this is a good project in Mableton. I actually live in Smyrna, and my grandparents live in Austell, so I'm very familiar with the area and Queen Mill Road. I would mostly like to just answer any questions y'all have about the project. I think it's been introduced well. And I also have a question of what the concerns were with the requested variance. We'd like to start with that.
Oh, I don't know, staff wants to add something, we'll clarify the reason for the variance,
Okay.
and then you can go from there.
Yeah, so any questions from commissioners?
Go ahead.
I have a question about sewer access. The report from Cobb County seemed to indicate that the closest sewer was on Cardell Circle,
Yes,
and that would require an agreement with one of those property owners.
correct.
Has that agreement been reached?
We have not pursued the agreement yet. We wanted to get through this with the city. We have actually two options for sewer. So there is sewer on Queens Mill Road. I think the reason that Cobb did not look at that one at first is because at first glance, the elevations are very close. But we did just some quick calculations, and it is close, but we think we can make it work. So I think what we'll do is we'll look at both options and see which one's most feasible.
So by close, how close? I mean, you've got to have gravity on your
I mean,
side,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So the closeness has to do with what elevation we decide to do the road at. So we've got like a couple of feet of give and take of where we could put that center road. We'll be looking at some of the cost with cut and fill. So obviously, if we're cutting too much and not filling another side, that's going to be really expensive. We might decide getting the easements better. If we can get that balanced and still have access to Queens Mill, I think that's kind of first option because we'd rather avoid easements.
Okay. My concern about about accessing sewer on Cardell Circle is that the 4 lots that you back up to are all fairly narrow, and the houses are ranches, so they have very small side yards. How wide is a sewer easement?
Yeah, usually about 20 feet wide. So
And
10
that-
feet on either side of the pipe.
Right, okay, all right. I also was curious as to the impact that the decel lane required by Cobb DOT would have on your site plan. And will that impact the lot sizes?
Lot 7 is the one that will be impacted on the plan that you can see now. Lot 7 already has a 35-foot major setback off Queen Mill Road. Also at the front, it's wider than the other lots. So the decel lane would move the right-of-way back some, most likely into that space, but there's still plenty of room to build and to have enough lot space.
And so how many square feet is that lot now?
It's currently 15,500.
So
Lot 7?
Lot 7?
Is it lot 7 is 15.5?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. If the variance were not granted, then what does the development look like?
So what would have to happen? Let's see. If I do a sketch, can I just do that up here with y'all looking?
I don't know what our technical capabilities are.
So I can show it in front of the camera if y'all have one. So currently, slope going across the site, roughly like that. We would do a road in the middle. There'd be some cut over here, build a home here. Then there'd be some fill over here, build a home here. Now, if these homes have to move back, what happens is they move so far back, like you have to fill, right up to the property line. On this side, you'd be right at the property line. You'd probably have a pretty big retaining wall, and then, your home. So, one, big retaining walls, a lot of fill on the other side. Those are the main things. You're just creating this kind of awkward buildable. What you end with is not as attractive as what you'd have otherwise. So
It would have been very nice to have that information in a way that we could have digested it before this evening.
Good feedback.
Question for you. So, with regards to Queen Mill, I think one of the pieces of feedback is, I think at where this lot is located, it's almost like there's a blind curve there. Has there been any conversation to mitigate any type of risks coming around that curve? Because I can see if cars are coming down Queen Mill or going up Queen Mill, and let's say they're coming down the blind curve and someone's trying to exit the property, then that's a potential hazard. So has there been, and I don't see anything in staff report or staff notes, I should say, from DOT, but has there been any, or do you have anything in your plans to kind of help mitigate that risk, or anything to work with DOT to mitigate that? Because that safety concern, that's a real concern.
Yeah, we'll be doing a site distance study, and just at a preliminary glance, we did look at, there are some existing trees also pretty close to the right of way to the north of the site. So once we see what those, how the site distance lays out, we would also explore getting an easement to remove some of those trees if they were blocking. So that is something we'll be exploring.
Okay.
I wonder if we should hear from the opposition. I wonder if we should hear from the opposition. I wonder.
Any other questions from any of the planning commissioners? Okay. Well, at this time, we'll move forward with the open hearing to hear from anyone that's in support of or in opposition to.
Remember to ask if they have 6 minutes left.
Oh, 6 minutes. I'm sorry.
To reserve the rest of the remainder of time.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So you have 10 minutes. So there you have 6 minutes remaining. Do you want to reserve the rest of your time to maybe come back up and answer any questions, or do you want to exhaust all 10 minutes now?
Reserving would be
Okay. All right. So, excuse me. So now we'll open the floor for anyone in the community that wants to speak in support of or opposition to. You will have, just to kind of level set, you'll have 10 minutes total. So that 10 minutes can be occupied by one person or be shared by 90. It's totally up to you. Same thing for opposition. Shared by, used by one person or shared by 90 people. It's totally up to you guys. So we will start with anyone that's in support of this application. Please make your way to the podium. State your name and what district you're in. You can. So we'll wait for anyone that's in support of the application. Okay. Doesn't look like we have anyone that wants to speak in support of. So we will move over to anyone that is in opposition to the application. You make your way to the podium, state your name, district you're from.
Yes, my name's Steve Young. I'm Mableton Improvement Coalition. I'm in District 4. Actually, we are in support of this. We think, low-density residential is a good fit for this area. However, there are some concerns we have that haven't been fully addressed. At the time we analyzed the application, there was no need, in our opinion, for a variance. The information provided was very helpful. However, I do believe that it would be nice to see some illustrations concerning this layout, why the variances are needed, and in that same vein, I also think that the number of elevations provided is insufficient. There's really only one provided, and the side garage that he has doesn't really go with the properties that were shown in the illustration. So we'd like to see layouts for the property as they will be built. There is language in the stipulations for putting in a sidewalk or having payment in lieu of that, and we think that second clause should be removed. We need sidewalks there. We don't need an IOU to put a sidewalk somewhere else. The neighborhoods that are being built should have sidewalks, period. And lastly, since there is a question about the sewer lineup, and if a sewer can't be put in, septic systems would be put in, and I do not believe that the property sizes are sufficient to hold a septic tank and the drainage field associated with a septic tank. But I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to blanket say that. I'm just going to say that we would have to see a demonstration that it's feasible if sewers are not likely. Apart from that, I do wish the applicants well, and we do think that, again, this kind of development is needed in Mableton, and we look for very attractive houses in the area. Thank you.
Most of the people, a lot of people are familiar with Queens Mill and the panels, but I wasn't sure who was going to be here. So my name is Brenda Nash, in District 3, and I'm here tonight to ask you to please decline this request to amend the zoning on this property from R20 to R15. I'm not asking this due to density per se, because as Michael Hughes said, we are looking for single-family homes on Queens Mill, and we're thankful that the applicant is considering doing that for us. But the fact that you're developing a subdivision on a tract of land that's going to make a very dangerous curve even more congested, and there will be serious accidents if this is allowed to move forward. The cover photo I provided shows the parcel of land which is situated right in the middle of the curve, and the plan submitted puts the subdivision entrance even deeper into the curve than the existing driveway for the one house that was there on the property. Photo 1 was taken from the driveway of the adjacent property, and as you can see, your view is totally blocked, preventing you from being able to see the cars that are maybe sitting there waiting to make a left-hand turn in this new development. This will result in rear-end collisions for traffic traveling on currently on Queens Mill Road, unless there is a left-hand turn lane into the complex off of Queens Mill. It's also going to be difficult for the people turning out of the development to see around the curves. For the oncoming traffic traveling off of Mableton Parkway at unsafe speeds, as you can imagine, if you've ever traveled Mableton Parkway, you're looking at 60 miles an hour coming off of that road. And then that subdivision is going to sit right there in the first curve that they're going to come to. And I live on Queens Mill, so I know the speeds that are traveled there on that road. Photo 2 will show that people traveling off of Mableton Parkway cannot see the traffic exiting the development as well due to the subdivision entrance is going to be located directly in the curve. The DOT is estimating that approximately 66 vehicles per day on weekdays will be entering and exiting this property if he develops 7 homes there. They will be trying to enter the roadway with the other 4,960 vehicles that DOT says already travels on Queens Mill daily. The DOT is suggesting that the minimum intersection site distance is not met, that the developer must implement remedial measures to achieve that requirement. But I don't see what he could do short of straightening the curve, which ain't going to happen because he can't straighten that curve out. You may say that R15, even if you don't approve R15, that even on R20 they can still develop the property, and I know this is true. But this may allow him to have 20,000 square foot lots and hopefully less homes, and he'll consider reducing the number of homes to redesign the development to move the homes back further off of the road to allow the front of the property is left open and cleared of landscaping that's going to prevent the site distance from being blocked where people can't see to get in and out of the subdivision. During the community meeting we had with this landowner several weeks ago, even he admitted that he could foresee problems with safety, as he stated he was having difficulty getting in and off the property now. So I'm urging you to please deny this request, and I would like to encourage a landowner to develop property at a much less density to decrease the number of vehicles making this transition onto the property. I have taken the time to go out and speak to several of the neighbors, and they are very concerned with the loss of trees. I know it's just part of the world today, and that's going to happen, but they're begging that there maintain some trees in the area, and the way this property is set up, the only tree you're gonna see is the one tree in the front yard of each property. So that's all I have to say. And I think some of the people are here tonight, I don't think I'm on speaker. You can have the originals.
Hello, my name is Carla Shern, and I don't know what district I'm in. I live directly across the street from the property, and I just wanted to speak in support of the previous speaker that that curve is extremely dangerous. I saw an accident almost happen this morning, and so that is a consideration that I would like the commission to take into consideration, because something needs to happen. I've lived in my property, in my home for 4 years. I've seen 4 accidents, and a motorcycle in the ditch. So it's very serious. And also I am concerned because I live directly across the tree line of Queen Mill. I really don't want that disrupted. If there's anything that can be done so that the beauty of going down Queen Mill in that area can be preserved, I would appreciate that. And also, I've never done this before. I don't know anything about a planning commission, but the proposed hours for construction, is that for consideration or no?
Yes.
Not at this hearing.
Oh, it's standard? Okay, well then I won't speak on that. Thank you.
There's 2 minutes and 46 seconds left for those who still want to speak.
If there's anyone else that wants to speak in opposition, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to muster up the courage. Okay, Mr. Wheeler, doesn't look like we have anyone else that wants to speak in opposition. The applicant, you have, excuse me, you have 6 minutes left if you want to come back and address any concerns or answer any questions or what have you, but you have your remaining 6 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Brenda, and everyone else from the area. First off, that feedback was really good. Personally, I would say someone who lives in the area can give a much better analysis than, excuse me, I'll say than the Department of Transportation with their studies at times. So I think this is really helpful. It sounds like the problem exists already. With this development, we would, one, both be required to do something about this anyway, site distance being one of them. Ms. Brenda referenced photo number 1. The arrow points to both a raised hill. You can see the soil is kind of sloped before it goes down to the road, as well as some pine trees there on the corner. I think both that hill and the pine trees are the biggest thing causing the current issue on Queen Mill Road. I would like the commissioners to consider having a condition to explore that option. It would be both, I'm just thinking out loud on my feet from a design side, removing those trees on the corner and doing some grading of that hill. When a development is happening, that's usually the time to fix something like this. You know, if this project doesn't go through, the current problem remains. But if this can be improved in a good way with a new development that's good for the community, like this is the time to address it, you know. There is some concern expressed for tree cover, very valid concern. I think that would be another one to look into, both what can be preserved on property. The property is currently wooded around the edges and on the south side. So if an emphasis could be placed on preservation, for example, a certain inch amount per acre, and then whatever can't be preserved, you know, maybe give the option for planting on-site and off-site if they don't think on-site's enough room for more trees. So I think that would be a practical way to address both of those concerns. So I think the short answer is, you know, we'd like to not have a problem. We want people to want to live here and live here safely. So I think that's all I have to say. If you'd like to add anything.
Yeah, and I just want to
Step to the
say
mic, please.
that, regarding the current condition over there with that curve being not safe, I firmly believe, after looking at our engineering plan and DOT comments, that after everything is said and done, that curve is going to be much safer than it is now. I'm 100% sure of that. So that's our plan. And even, things like, for instance, trees. I know that in the plan, in the comprehensive engineering plan, we have a section that's dedicated to tree preservation. So we have all that. So all these, things are being developed. And we are going to put everything in place. And we are, looking at the, site, distance, and everything. We are going to make that access much safer than it is now. That's for sure.
Any other questions?
Point of clarity, Mr. Wheeler, is our us as PCs, are we able to ask the applicant any other questions?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's close the public hearing, then we can go into
Okay,
questions.
perfect. Well, I think opposition used all 10 minutes. So now this was left for, or
Yeah,
was,
so again, those in opposition cannot do a rebuttal, so only the applicant can do a rebuttal.
Right.
And then we close the public hearing, and then the planning commission can go up into discussion, and then if they need a point of clarification regarding any items, you can ask questions of staff or the applicant.
right, but the opposition used their 10 minutes, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I wanted to-
It's so, even if they don't use the entire 10 minutes, if there's no one left, again, that's the end of that.
Gotcha, okay. So at this point, if there is anyone else that is speaking in support of, there's what, 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes left? Yes. Okay, 2 minutes left for anyone that is speaking in support of the application. You can make your way to the podium. Okay,
I have that.
Mr. Wheeler, if we have questions of the opposition, may we ask them those after the close of the public hearing?
Yeah, there could be questions asked. Anybody that the commission wants to direct to.
Thank you.
okay. So it looks like we don't have anyone else that is speaking in support of the application. So I'll make a motion to go ahead and close public comment section. Can I get a second?
A second.
And who, I couldn't see.
That was me.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Miller, thank you. Excuse me, Davis, excuse me. We'll go ahead and close. I'm sorry. Take a vote. Sorry. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. So,
Those in favor of closing?
motion put forward to close public, second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, ayes have it. All right, so public comment section is closed. So now I think there's some more questions that planning commissioners have. If you don't mind, I'd like to kick off. There's a question that I had there, and this is to the applicant. I'm sorry. So there's notes in the report mentioning, what's the word that I'm looking for? Mailboxes, and I didn't see anything there that showed like a mailbox kiosk. So is there going to be a kiosk, or is there going to be like individual mailboxes on each lot? Like how does that work?
Yeah, currently there's an option, but I think we were leaning towards kiosks last we had talked.
And where would the kiosk be located?
Yeah, we would put it in front of the storm pond. So we would do a pull off there.
Okay.
A kiosk for everyone. Then of course the sidewalks would be connected to that area as well.
Okay, and also the storm pond. I didn't see anything that mentioned how it was going to be enclosed. Is this going to be I don't want to say a wrought iron fence, but would it be an iron fence or wood fence, or how is it going to be enclosed?
We thought about
Or sectioned
various
off, if you will?
Well, one thing that we thought about is, a wood privacy fence.
Okay.
Does Cobb County allow a wooden fence around the detention pond?
Staff, don't know.
I thought it required
Well,
either chain
I would say
link or-
I've seen properties in Cobb County that do have wooden
wooden
fences
fences.
around it. So, but I'll
We'll look into it.
okay. From my own personal observation, I have seen that in some communities. So,
I want to ask a question. I realize every lot is taken up here, but maybe on the stormwater area, is there some type of amenity other than the mailbox kiosk? Or, I don't know, dog park or
Yeah,
something.
on single family detached, we don't usually propose an amenity just because each person wants to do up their own yard. You know, that's kind of where they want to hang out. So we just don't typically expect on the size as well.
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, good question.
another question for you. So, there's also notes here, or I think there's maybe a stipulation or a note. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. About this community being an HOA covenant community, correct? Has there been any conversation to put any kind of cap or restriction on rental properties or institutional investors buying up? Because based on this, there's only 7 lots, and that's a real issue that people in different communities, at least within the city limits of Mableton, face. So has there been any conversation or consideration to say, hey, it's only 7 lots, X% or X number of lots can only be used for rental properties?
Any good thoughts?
Yeah, well,
Because those can be put into the covenants.
yeah, my plan for this development is to be no rental.
0 rental, okay.
So you would be willing to include that limitation
Yes,
in,
yes.
well, I think that there are times that due to hardship, that individuals do need to rent their homes. They can be transferred and the house doesn't sell right away or whatever the case might be. Typically, I think in our community, we've seen rental limitations of 10% or 15%, 20% around in there. Those percentages don't work particularly well with such a small number of units.
Yeah.
So perhaps we could allow 1 home at a time to be rented, but no more than 1, if that's acceptable to the rest of the planning commission.
I don't have an issue with it.
And also, if I can make a recommendation or suggestion around the rentals, maybe have a owner occupancy time limit that they have to occupy the home a certain amount of time before they can rent it to ensure that someone isn't investing as an owner with the plan to just rent it
As well as limiting,
to the 10%.
well, the time of rental. I mean, I've lived next to someone for 15 years, and 10 of those years it was a rental property. So we don't want them always being a rental property.
So what would you all suggest? That they have to live there for at least a year before it's rented? 2 years?
I would think minimum would be 2 years.
Okay. And then what would be the maximum as to how long it could be rented?
5? Is that too much?
I don't have a recommendation on that or a support of that only because, again, you know, it could be someone who is a military person and has to relocate and they can't control when they're going to be coming back, and you know, it's a property they ultimately want to come back to but may not be in control of those time limits. So I don't know that I support a limitation on
Okay.
how long. But I did have an additional question if the rest of the commissioners are finished.
Please go ahead.
I noted that we did receive recommendation from staff about a fee in lieu of sidewalk, and I wanted to go back to what you indicated about your assurance that this property being developed in the manner that you're presenting would make the area safe, but you weren't planning to include sidewalks. So can you just elaborate a little bit for me on your assurance that it's gonna enhance the safety?
That comment, which department was it coming from? From DOT. we are not interested in paying a fee to remove that. We want all those features that they recommend. Totally.
Okay. So did it come up because the drawing didn't include sidewalks initially?
I think it was just that since it was a concept and we just hadn't gone into that much detail.
No, I just want, so the pay in lieu is just a standard comment from DOT, so you'll get that all the time. Previously, this commission has asked to have that been removed, but that's just a standard boilerplate comment that DOT puts in all their comments.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I saw that, and I think Chris explained it to me that this is a standard comment. But we are not interested in that option to remove it. No.
Okay.
You've given us a drawing of what a home would look like. I think it might be the back, actually, of a house, and then also of a garage. But they're not. Yes. So the picture that we're looking at on the left, is that the front of the house with the patio?
When I look at those images, I think that is the back of the house, but
On the left, it appears to be the back. It looks like it's a patio with the fireplace. So
I think
Yeah, but the smaller picture's in the middle.
I think the architect sent him some very preliminary images, so these are just inspiration at this point.
okay.
So obviously the image on the front shows like a modern style. That's kind of what's being depicted there. The image on the right is showing the garage that's still attached, but a different angle from the house. So that shows how we'd have the side load garages. So that's kind of what's being communicated in each image.
But the garage and the house are not remotely the same style.
No.
So which style are you proposing?
Yeah, you lean towards the more modern style on the left.
What I can say that at this point,
Step to the mic, please.
I am, we were more interested in just the concept layout of of houses, and I believe I emailed it, but I'm not sure that everybody saw that. But I have it on my phone for the first three lots, lot 1, 2, and 3. These are the concepts that we are. Yeah, this is an idea for lot 1.
And how the garage.
How the garage are side entry garages. All of them will have that.
So they're also curious about the style, whether the architecture will be more of a modern style or traditional.
Well, we are still talking about that and trying to choose the style. I know that I do not like anything totally modernistic looking. I like traditional gables. I like some brick accents on the front, and that's what we are looking to do.
Well, I asked because the staff recommendation says that the elevations will be substantially similar to the elevations submitted to the Planning and Zoning Division on September 15th, 2025. Mr. Wheeler, are those elevations the ones that we're looking at? And you're saying yes. So I guess I'm having a great deal of difficulty understanding what that style might be, since we have two different styles here. And I think typically the Cobb County Planning Commission and Board of Commissioners before us has been interested in what that style is going to be before a zoning decision is made. So that's what our community has come to be comfortable with knowing as well. If you had some more time, would you be able to answer some of these questions about the style and the architecture, and perhaps have more detail on the access to sewer on Queen Mill?
Both of those.
Were you finished, Robin?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to ask, do you have any other properties that you have developed locally in this area? that have examples of the type of homes that you're looking to design and develop?
I have a house that I built, finished a year ago.
Step to the mic, please.
A year ago on Clay Road, 2125 Clay Road, brand new house. However, we had limitations over there because of the lake, because of the setbacks. And so we had very small area, and that's what we had to work with. So we could not build a home that, would be my ideal. We had to work on a very limited space. But it still came out nice.
Do you think the architecture style materials would be similar?
Well, to some extent, because, that house is in a different, price range and different value. So these homes will be more upscale.
And based on your prior building experience, do you commit to a certain percent of tree retention for your each
Tree?
Mhm.
Well, I remember my comment when we had the public meeting at the library. I want to preserve all the trees that we can. Whatever is possible. Yes. That's the front over there.
If I may, just as a note, I know trees have been brought up by several speakers and planning commissioners. The ability to keep the houses closer to the road would allow them to clear less of the lot, in my experience. So
And
that's a consideration of not having to go back further and not having to fill or cut further into the slope or fill the gap, fill the valley.
That's addressing the setback issue, correct?
I'm saying that the
variance.
request for variance would help in that regard.
Thank you very much for that comment, because that is so true. I was just talking to my neighbor to the north, my closest immediate neighbor. And I was thinking, all those, a few trees that are between his lot and my lot, if I were to push the house away from the road, from my roadway, we would have to remove those trees. But if we, get the variance that we want, we can preserve more trees.
I do have one last question, at least for me. I won't speak for any other planning commissioner. For some reason, I feel like I read something regarding community signage. I didn't see anything as far as like any visuals that points to that. I wasn't sure if you guys were addressing that, and I'm curious as to where it would be and how it would play into the site distance as far as on Queen Mill. Like I don't know what the dimensions would be, if it's 5 feet high, 20 feet high. Like what would it be if there's going to be anything at all?
Yeah, that would be like an entry sign for the community.
The subdivision side.
Yeah, when I read through the comments, I didn't see anything about that, but that is typical on a lot of projects. On a project this size, I would usually recommend something like a column, with a metal plaque on the front that has the name of the development. Also, usually when we have the site distance study done, we just make sure the sign is both, out of the right of way and out of the site distance. So you can expect that for whatever the entry sign ends up being. It also would not be super tall. It's just a few homes on a neighborhood. So.
Okay. Any other questions from planning commissioners?
I have one other question, please. I heard the concern from the community regarding the speed that comes along that road right at the proposed entry point. Have you analyzed where is the closest stop sign or stoplight away from the entry point to determine what the speed may be decreased to by the time it approaches the subdivision? Or is there no stoplights or stop sign within a close distance where the speed may be reduced to enhance the safety?
So, to the comment, would that be more of a DOT question or concern as opposed to the applicant?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, I felt like it would be more DOT as opposed to the applicant.
If we could bring that slide for the development. You see, the new roadway will open up this area. Now we have the where's the current one? Right here. And so this area is a problem because you cannot see clearly the traffic. But now that we are pushing everything this way, this opens up. And so we will have a much better sight distance over here. We are gonna, do the study, the site.
Yeah.
Yes, and also follow all the DOT recommendations, that deceleration lane and whatever they recommended over there, that will be done.
Any other excuse me, any other questions from any other planning commissioners?
On the photograph that Mrs. Nash has given us, the first one that shows the hill and the trees, are all of those pine trees adjacent to the road on your property?
No. So there would have to be conversations with the neighbor about being able to remove those. Some of them may even be in the right of way in that area, which I guess DOT question there.
Yeah.
I would suggest, if it's acceptable to my fellow planning commissioners, that perhaps we consider making a recommendation to postpone a decision on this application for another month, so that we might provide the applicant with a list of additional information or fuller information and answers to some of the questions that we've raised here. And if we're in general agreement on that, I'd be prepared to make a motion to that effect.
Okay, well, before we take a motion, did we have any other questions of the applicant or of staff? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So you can have a seat and then we'll take a motion. Thank you.
I guess I would ask my fellow planning commissioners, are there any other issues that you see that, or perhaps I should make my motion?
Yeah,
and then
make your
if there-
motion and then we'll open it up for discussion.
Okay.
And then take the vote.
Okay. Then I move that we recommend, I move that we continue this application until our November hearing, which I believe is November 6th, so that the applicant can provide a site plan that shows the decel lane and the sidewalks and any subsequent changes to the size and shape of the lots as a result. An evaluation, an approval by Cobb County of access to Queen Mill Road for sewer. Elevations of elevations or renderings of the proposed homes and their garages that are a consistent style with at least 3 different variations to be built in the subdivision. The rendering should also include the staff recommendations for architectural features and the side elevations of the homes on lots 1 and 7, which will be very visible from Queen Mill Road, should also include those architectural elements.
Robin, the additional things would be the subdivision signage.
Oh, hold on. She can make her motion, and then you can add your amendments to the motion.
Okay, but since I think I know what you're going to say, I will. A description or rendering of the proposed subdivision signage and a draft stipulations letter that includes the other items that have been discussed here today to which the applicant has agreed, such as the homeowners association, the rental limitation, a requirement that garages remain available for parking, that they cannot be converted to living space, that there be no off-site tree compensation. And I think that's all I can remember.
Okay. So we have now I'm not going to be able to repeat all that.
I want to be clear. So we're asking for postponement. So we can't add any conditions on a postponement.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear about that. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
I was asking for a stipulations letter as one of the things that the applicant would return with, and that those things would be included in it.
And then just for continuity with the ordinance, it's just a deferral, not a continuance or postponement. We'll call
Deferral,
it deferral,
okay.
just so it's in line with the ordinance.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion to defer with a stipulation letter that includes the list of concerns that have been listed. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. And at this time, if you want, do you want to make any amendments to that motion?
No, she included it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so have a second. Excuse me. Have a second.
From Commissioner Walker.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking 2 steps ahead from Commissioner Walker. Do we want to, now we can open it up for conversation or for a discussion, I should say, and then we'll take the vote. I think we're good. Okay. Did you mention the mailbox? And I think the signage, the entryway signage was mentioned, but also the mailbox. And I think also, I think this is on its face. It's a good. I think it's a good development. It's in line with what the community is wanting to see. I think there's some more information to be had that us as a planning commission we would like to chew on before making an official recommendation. We want to make sure that any time that an applicant is coming forward, that they come forward with all the information, and we don't want to make a decision based on not enough information. I think that does a disservice to the community to make any kind of recommendation without all of the information. It leaves a lot to chance, and we don't want to leave as best as as best as we can. We don't want to leave that to chance. We want to make sure that we're giving the applicant the best opportunity, as well as the community the best opportunity to have the best development. Because once it's there, it's going to be there, at least for the next 50, 75 years. Any other discussion points from any other commissioners? Planning commissioner, excuse me. No? Okay. All right. So we have the amendment. We have the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. No opposition. The ayes have it. So we will move forward with deferring this application to the next planning commission meeting, November 6th, without looking at a calendar. And let me see, I think, okay, so that is the last zoning case on the agenda. Any other business to be discussed before we move to adjourn? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. All right, with that being said, I'll put forward a motion to adjourn the meeting this evening. Can I get a second?
Second.
Get a second from Commissioner Valenzano. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. I didn't think so. The ayes have it, so we will consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for your time.